This is NOScast here, episode 8. This is the first episode on Anchor. So if there's audio issues, excuse for the burping. But if there's audio issues, now you know why, okay? But this is the first cast on Anchor. I'm trying it out. I'm trying to see how good it is and whatnot. So
It'll be fun.
it will be fun. So, how do you feel about your rights, Itchy? And what I
What
mean by
rights?
that, what I mean by that is your right to do whatever you want into America,
That
or
doesn't
your right,
exist.
or okay. Let me say that again before you start. That doesn't exist. You okay? As an American or as a person or whatever, you have your right. Okay, I have my
Right.
rights in whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now,
So are you saying basic human rights or like the rights in like the
basic
country?
basic human rights. You know
Okay,
what
so
I'm
what
saying?
would you consider basic human rights? Because like you might not consider the same things as the country as basic human rights. Because some people consider housing a basic human right, but obviously our country doesn't really believe that.
Yeah,
Um,
which is true in a way. But I'm saying like putting your putting your basic human rights onto someone else. You know what I'm saying?
that doesn't make any sense.
Mofo. I'm saying like you have your different beliefs and
Right, right.
liking something. You get what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
let's say you didn't like the Marvel's Endgame movie. Okay, let's put that
Right,
example.
but that has nothing to do with right. Like liking something, because whether or not if it's something that, as long as you're not harming somebody, as
Hmm.
long as what they're doing is not harming you,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter if you don't like it, because
Hmm.
liking something and not liking something isn't like, it's not your right to like everything. If you don't like it, it's not your right to shut it down. If I don't
Yeah,
like something, it's not my right to shut it down.
yeah, but people feel like because they live in America per se, they need to, someone if they talk to someone on Canada, well, we live in America, so we need to live by these rights while we're in the party or whatever, or while we're in a video chat or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's Canada, and they put these political rights too as in American rights and whatever. Canada has their own type of stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like Mexico, just like Europe, just like any other country of another man, they have their own rights. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So just because you live in America and when it doesn't mean they have to obey by those rules or whatever. They
Right,
live
but rights aren't rules. Rights are like what you have that nobody can take away. Like, yeah,
like
it's different when you're talking to somebody. Actually, no, not really, because if you're in America, you don't have to follow that other country's rules. If you're in that other country, you don't necessarily have to follow America's rules unless those rules overlap.
yeah,
Um, you don't have to like automatically be like we're following Canada's rules. But at the same time, if you're on a party system, like Xbox chat or like Facebook calls or like whatever
Skype
type
or
of party
whatever.
system, yeah, you have to follow those rules, not your country's rules. You follow those rules,
Hmm.
which usually those rules go with like the most common rules between all the countries.
Yeah, which is true.
It like because here's the thing, like you have, okay, so there's in America there's separation of church and state. Well, there's also the government's not really allowed to dictate as much as what companies can do.
Hmm.
So while you're on company premises, let's say we have the right to bear arms.
Yes.
That doesn't mean you have the right to carry bear arms. That means you have the right to carry a weapon to protect yourself. You have the right to protect yourself. Um,
Hmm.
but like at the same time, you can go into an area and that area is like if that area is a private company like area, they can be like, we don't want you to carry weapons here. You can't hold a knife here. You can't bring a knife here. You can't bring a gun here. Well, that's their area. That's their land. That's theirs. You're not, because you're an American doesn't mean, oh, well, I'm American, I can do that. Well, that's their land. It's just like somebody coming into your house and wearing shoes when you don't want them to wear shoes.
Yes, which a lot of people I know do that. I think my aunt does that. She doesn't like people wearing shoes in her house.
Right, right.
That's the same exact thing. It's you have your government rights and then you have your personal rights.
Well, personal rights are because if your personal rights infringe upon somebody else's personal rights and the government, like, because like that thing where the company can say you can't bring a gun there, that's definitely, they can do that. But like some people look at that as a really iffy thing. They're like, well, I'm not going to go there if I can't. Well, yeah, don't go there. And then some people like go the exact opposite way. They're like, well, I'm going to go there and bring my gun anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
who's really in the wrong there? Can, like, because the government says you have the right, but the company says you don't have the right. So it's kind of a catch-22. Um, but like obviously one, it's going to be sided between one way or the other. Um, the
Mm-hmm.
government infringing upon the rights that they have given to the person, or the government being like, well, we can't tell the company what to do. Like those two
Yeah.
things, because just like you can't force somebody to be like, well, that person has to be able to come in there. Like let's say back when we were first becoming a country, before we were a country,
Yeah.
the British were allowing, we're actually forcing, like, settlers over here. They were forcing them to allow in redcoats or whatever, to be able to, I forgot what it was called, but to be able to live in their house.
Yeah.
We made it to where like you can't force somebody to allow somebody in their house. Well, that's the same thing where it's like you can't force a company to allow somebody with a gun to come in.
Yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. That's what I'm saying. Like you have and it all goes around a circle. I feel like because you have these people that point fingers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That that politicalize everything. But they point the finger when something goes bad or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
They post and post out, oh, I'm all about rights and people rights and government rights and whatever and so on and so forth and political and all this shit. But when something goes bad or whatever, they say this opposite of what they really believe and whatnot. They point the finger and whatnot. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
That happens a lot, America. I feel like that happens a lot in America where
I think the confusion with a lot of people is they don't understand that a lot of these companies, a lot of these publicly traded companies, even LLCs, they're actually, except LLCs aren't really viewed by the federal government. The LLCs don't exist to a federal government. They exist on the state level, but the federal government doesn't acknowledge LLCs. But
uh,
they're viewed by the government as entities. You're an entity, Jacob. I'm an entity. If
yeah,
if an LLC is an entity, then pretty much that LLC has not exactly, or that corporation pretty much, but not exactly, has the same rights as any other person.
uh,
So like they carry the same type of rights as that person, which is the same thing where like you don't have to allow somebody to come to tread on you. You don't have to allow somebody to come and walk,
here,
like, pretty much bring a gun in on your property. That's like the best, like,
yeah, definitely. But
option I have. Yeah.
yeah, which I see that totally in a way. You know what I'm saying? I see that totally in ways where you have you have your rights,
Hmm.
and the government has their rights too, and they own that premises. They're able to do kind of whatever the fuck they want to do because they own that. The government can't really say shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I
And I
mean,
don't know if
sometimes they
that's
do,
really,
but
yeah, of course they do, but I'm saying I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that these big billion-dollar companies or premises or whatever have, you know,
they have the
pre-
same rights as you and I, pretty much.
yeah, but they have more leniency than other people. They have more power than other people than just, me and you and other just regular ass people that just go to stores. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? They have more power than us in ways that we probably would never understand. In a way,
Well, because we kind of rely on a lot of these bigger companies
yeah,
at
it's
the
like
same time.
Target, Walmart, these malls, Apple, Google, whatever. We rely
Right.
on these other companies. If these companies weren't around,
I
this,
mean, we'd be
you know,
fine. we'd be fine. We
fine.
just wouldn't have the same life we have now.
We wouldn't have the same technology as we have now. You know what I'm saying? We would have other type of technology than we would
Right.
have before. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if these companies having more power or having these other strict laws that are their laws besides the government are a good thing or a bad thing.
Right, and that you put that right, like you put that in a really good way, like saying that like companies pretty much do get to make their own laws.
Mm-hmm.
Like as long as their laws aren't really breaking any laws outside of the company, which sometimes they might, but as long as they're not breaking any of those external laws, then they pretty much get to write the laws as they go.
And that's what I'm saying. People feel like, well, we live in America, so I'm able to do. I have my right as an American, as if I go into a Target, if I go into a Walmart, if I go into a mall, Apple Store, Google, shit, whatever. I have my right as an American citizen. But once you get on their primacy, on their land, on their property, that whole law shit changes in a way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's you still are in America and you still on American ground and whatnot, but you're the rights kind of switch and change in ways that you probably don't understand or even notice in a way. Because America might say one thing, but these billion-dollar companies might say another.
Right. See, okay, so you're talking about freedoms here. It's like on your property, on your own property, your private property,
Yeah.
sometimes public property if it's a public company or something like that. But your property, you get that on that property, you have your own laws pretty much on there. Except
Mm-hmm.
not exactly. Obviously, as a city, like you can't be like, well, on my property, I get to kill people. Well, no, like that's not
No,
because you're gonna be tried. You're gonna be tried in the greater area that,
yeah. It
yeah,
still doesn't work like that in a way, but
right,
it's really I don't know. It's kind of confusing in a way because in your own home that you own and whatnot, you kind of are able to do whatever you want besides kill people and rape people.
well, actually, in some states, depending on the situation, it's fine.
See, this is another thing. You know those homes that are gated areas,
Right.
gated areas. Those are you have to obey by some type of rule.
Yeah, the bylaws and stuff.
Yeah, well,
Come on, Maggie.
you have to obey by some type of rules in a way that
Right.
you
And
have
which is sort of kind of like you're gonna be tried by that whole group of area. But if you get enough people, because like they have those bylaws and stuff. But if you get enough people over there to like be like, oh well, that law doesn't matter, then it'll change because it works the same, but it kind of works like not the same. Um,
well, yeah,
yeah,
but you have your deeds that you have to do in this neighborhood, as in mow your lawn, keep your lawn in good shape,
right.
keep your house looking clean. You know what I'm saying? It's you have the certain amount of laws that you have to keep
Yeah, try to
in
keep
this.
the property values up.
Yeah, try to keep the property values up. And but in a house like me, you, other people that don't have that stuff, we're able to do whatever the fuck we want to our lawn, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and there's different laws between like county and city. I don't know how much different it is over there. I don't know if
I
you live in a county or the city. Um,
think I live in a county, or I don't. I feel like the county city part really doesn't get enforced in a way.
well, I mean, one of the biggest things out here, at least, I don't know about out there, but like, okay, so in the city they have the noise ordinance, right? Well, in the county there's no noise ordinance.
Hmm.
Um, you drive in a loud car, you're gonna get fined in the city, but if you're in the county, you're driving a loud car, you're just gonna annoy some people.
I think that's how it is out here too. I think because I haven't seen one just get pulled over because it's loud
Well,
car.
you also have a lot more emissions control on the individual level out there. Like, shit, I know some people out here they'll just straight pipe their cars. They'll rip out the fucking emissions checker and shit. Like,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah, a lot of people do that here. Man,
yeah,
there's
that's
so many.
extreme. That's extremely illegal where you're at, but that's not a big deal where I'm at.
there is some loud ass cars here. Like I'm talking about loud ass, like where you can hear it through the whole fucking whole city type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
So like, there's a lot of there's give and take.
right.
Okay, there's give and take. You have these county slash city or neighborhoods or whatever laws. You have these other ones where are gated community laws, and then you have, the American whatever law or the government laws and whatnot. Everything is kind of like changed in a way.
It's kind of like a layered system. Like we have the rights on the whole government level,
Yeah.
like federal government level. We have
Uh-huh.
these basic rights, and then the
Uh-huh.
states go down and be like, okay, so these are states' rights. These are rights you have in this state, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes those rights might even take away rights from that the federal government. Like, because if you look at like California, they changed some of the gun laws that the federal government didn't have, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Totally.
so like you can take away certain rights in certain states, but those rights in the overall country, like if you, let's say you're breaking a law in the state but you're not breaking a law in the fed, then you're only going to get like state punishment. You're not going to get any federal punishment, right?
Yeah.
Like there's certain laws that are only statewide, which means like
Yeah.
you have different states have different rights. So people saying like, well, I'm American, I have these rights. Well, it depends on what state you're in. It depends on, and they might not be written right. Sometimes just having a law that takes away something that isn't written, well, you have less rights than that other person because in this other state, that law isn't written the way it is over in that state. So they have different rights than you because they can do these things, they can do those things, but your state is locking down what you can really do.
Most definitely. Like it's really that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like it's really like give and take. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really give and take. Like you have
See,
your government.
we have the freedom to pick what state we live in, so that's like the biggest right there. Because like
Uh huh.
we don't have to have passport. Like, this is a lot like Europe. Because if you look at states like little countries, because that's kind of what they are. Like we have the big country, which has like the overall laws for the whole United States, and then we have each individual state, which have their smaller laws for the individual state. Well, the thing being all in the country, you don't need a passport. If we didn't have this big country that covered with all these states, then you'd have to have passports to go between states.
And that would suck.
Right, right. And that's kind of
Most.
like how Europe is. You don't really need passports to go between all. Like if you're a European, you don't really need passports to go between all the European countries.
Yeah, like Germany, France, Spain.
Right, right,
You know what I'm saying? And that I feel like that's good in a way.
right.
But I don't know. I feel like should you need passports to go from American to like the UK and whatever? You know what I'm
No,
saying?
you do need passport.
I
That's not the
know
same
that. I
thing.
know that. I know that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But like, I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't need a passport to go from America to the UK or Spain or Germany or whatever.
Oh,
You,
they're just trying to like I kind of
I
it would
I
be cool
get
to get rid
why
of
they
that
do
kind of
it.
stuff. It would be cool to get rid of that kind of stuff. Like, see, personally, me, I would. I'm not saying I'd be fine because I'm. It might be fucking mess if this happens. But I'm like, oh, well, let's get rid of all the countries. Let's just have no countries. Have structured anarchy, like not complete anarchy where like no, there's no order, but like a structured anarchy, which is like just no governments, no laws, just like kill the person who's killing the other people.
Yeah, well,
um,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how good. I don't know how that would end up.
No, it's definitely probably not going to end up good. I'm just saying, like, I take it or leave it. Like,
Hmm.
like,
Well, we're categorized by continents in a way.
right,
We're
right.
categorized in continents. You got North America, South America, Australia, Europe, Asia.
But if you take all those categories away, we're just Earth.
Yeah, we're just Earth.
Right, right.
We're you know what I'm saying. So it's like it's kind of like I don't know. Like I don't know. It's weird because have you looked at like the map recently, like the world map and whatnot?
Um, I don't know. Like, I kind of like
Okay,
not really, but
so that like kind of like reminded me of something. So when you look at the world map and you see how some countries are smaller than others,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? There was this one map that came out,
and literally it showed like how much bigger Asia is, how much bigger America, how big like their actual sizes in a way, but in smaller form. But you get where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the government, I don't know if it's people in general, but I feel like America or the government in America is making these other countries a lot smaller in our eyes. Like Europe, Asia, Australia, whatever. In reality, they're bigger than what they're trying to make it seem like to be. They're trying
I
to
don't
make
I don't
America
think it's
look like
exactly
the
I don't think it's like on that level of a conspiracy, but like yeah,
but
maps are not completely accurate because of the shape they are and stuff like that.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, if you looked on like the world map, America's the biggest thing possibly out there.
No, no.
Well, I'm saying like if you look at Europe and Asia and whatever, they don't look tiny, but when you look at America, it looks a lot. They sized it a lot more than Asia and Europe and Australia and whatnot.
I don't think so. I think you're
I
a
don't
bit
know.
wrong on that.
There was a thing on Facebook. I don't know where it's at, but there was a thing on Facebook where this lady compared the two maps, and America was like a lot smaller than like Europe and Asia and Australia. Well, not Australia, but like Europe and Asia and all of them, and I think South America too. That South
Right.
America and these whole are a lot bigger
Right, right.
than America in a way.
Right. I
And
think you're wrong on like maps being purposely like resized and like maybe at some level because like I'm looking at this map right now and America is definitely smaller than Asia. Europe is a small country. Europe is a small continent because like all the countries
mhm,
there they're really like states. Like they're really
mhm,
small. Like they're
yeah,
they're small.
yeah. Europe is kind
Um
of like states where you know. So I don't know. It was just a thing that I saw on Facebook, which was like really interesting in a way, and I
right.
haven't found it
Which there's
since then.
definitely maps out there that inflate it because that always happens. There's always inflation on it, and there's some spots on the map like because of the way the map is shaped, like the size of that land is not actually the real size of that land
Uh huh.
relative to the other things. And sometimes, yeah, they do inflate the size of a part of a map, but if especially if they have a scale on it, it's kind of stupid to like, oh, America's this big, this is the scale. There you go, measure it. Like if you're inflating it and you're using an actual scale on it, well, you could prove it wrong right there. Like I think like I don't think that it is on that level. Like yeah, they might make it look bigger to like help you look at it and stuff like that. Like I
Mhm.
but that I think that's like a bunch of
BS.
bullshit really. I think that's not really
Well, it
real.
could be. It was just a thing I saw on Facebook that was like really interesting. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't see. That's what I'm saying. I don't think American government will go that far, but I don't know. American government's pretty shady in my book. American government can be pretty shady in ways that we still really don't know what's going on in some things because I feel like the American government knows about a lot more stuff that they want to say,
Right.
like what happens in other countries and whatnot.
Right.
I just like this is my thing with American government and just America in general and the military. How come we're not like Switzerland? And what I mean by that is we stay out of shit. We stay in our own lane. We just be America and
Shit.
stop getting into other wars and whatnot that we don't need to be in.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? That we don't need to be in. Like I get in other countries stuff that's going bad and someone should go in and say, do something about it. But what about we be like Switzerland and just stay out of stuff and just be America and live our lives? You know,
Shit. It's
because if
because
we
after World War II, we became a superpower and we want to hold that position. That's that. That's
well,
what I gather from it.
it's not even just that. Like, but like you see, okay, but you see how no one fucks with Switzerland. No one
Right.
fucks with them.
Switzerland's kind of the place where where like everybody goes to like be peaceful, pretty much. Like
Well, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But you realize how no
I
one
hear there's a lot of spy stuff that happens in Switzerland though, but
like what type of spy stuff?
like secret shit, like not really like killing, like not wars, but like spies, like type
Yeah,
shit.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but you see how nothing really happens in Switzerland. You don't hear about Switzerland. You don't hear about them on the news or nothing. You always see America on the news about bullshit or whatever. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's the thing. What I'm saying is, how come we're going into the other countries like Russia, Iraq, Africa, even or whatever, and we're going in and trying to not take over, but like seize the shit that's going on in these places. Which I get why they're doing it, but it's like what America should probably do is just back off of everything and just let us be America. Because then everyone will want to stop fucking, like everyone would just, if you stop bothering people, people will stop bothering you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. If you attack on Russia first, then Russia's gonna attack on America.
Are we attacking right? Like I don't think that's happening right now, is it?
I feel like we got shit in Russia
Right.
that I feel like some shit's going on in Russia because Putin knows something, and he doesn't want to say it because it's gonna look bad on America.
Right.
But I
Right.
feel like Putin knows something about Donald Trump or America in general that Trump didn't want to get out. Probably American government didn't want to get out or whatever, and they've been seizing it for a long time.
Well, didn't Biden's son go to Turkey?
Something like that.
Yeah, and then Russia and Turkey are close. So is China close to Turkey. China pretty much bought out Turkey.
Really?
Yeah, well, like they kind of like to kind of put a hush hush on the whole Uyghur thing, going like human rights violations in China.
Well, shit. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's something obviously going on in the government of these countries that we seriously just don't know about.
Right,
That they don't want to get out because it's going to look bad. It's going to look really bad as citizens in this world that our government in whatever country is not what we thought it is or whatever.
right,
You know what I'm saying? It's going to look really bad. And if it goes bad, all these citizens is going to be bad, and World War III might happen in some way, shape, or form, which they're trying to keep from happening in a way. I
right,
feel like World War III is like around the corner. It's just something has to kaboom. Something has to go off for World War III to happen.
shit.
You have,
What do you think? You think it's
because
gonna be China, Russia?
I feel
What do you
like
think is
because
gonna
you
be?
have Korea there, you have Korea that's
Well, I
really
haven't heard much about. I think it's more likely gonna be a thing with China, not Korea.
that too. I feel like China and Russia are because who doesn't want to take down America? Who doesn't want to take down America? Because if you take down America, you got some power coming in. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? If you take down America, it is going to be some shit. It's going to be hell. But America, see, this is the thing. America wants it to have everybody's eyes on America, which you shouldn't want that. You shouldn't want everyone's eyes to look on America to see what is America doing. What is their president doing? What is he gonna fuck up next? What is Biden gonna do to fuck up? You know what I'm saying?
right.
Even though I voted for Biden, I feel like Biden is a way better president than Trump will ever be. But what is Biden gonna do to fuck up?
See, I
You know,
think Biden or Trump's not really a good president, but
I don't think so either. But it's the devil's advocate type stuff.
shit, I don't play that game.
But I feel like a lot of countries keep a close eye on America. Very,
Right.
very, very, very close eye. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if you can take down America, you can take down anybody.
You can take down anybody. You can take down America because America is a full-fledged powerhouse. If
Right.
you could take that down, it's over. You're the king of countries,
The king
or
of countries.
coun- that because that's what like. I feel like America's the king of countries,
Right.
even though you have help from Canada and Mexico in a way or whatever. At the end of the day, Canada is its own country. America's own country. Mexico, Brazil, Nicaragua, that whole entire South American border is its own country.
Right.
And they would probably love to take that down. But it's kind of like gaming companies in a way. I would feel like Activision would love to take down EA, but they're not going to. You know what I'm saying? Just like,
I don't think it's quite on that level. Like maybe when like the whole battle pass, because that kind of like the vibe that battle pass. Okay.
so what were you saying?
Um. Shit. I don't know. I lost it.
You you're saying, okay, we were talking about it was the because I said Activision.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that might have been like that kind of been the game plan. Like they're not really trying to kill them off. They just want more game time. They want more
Mhm,
money in their end. I think for a while, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we just get them spending on our game and our game only. Um,
mhm.
but I feel like they need to kind of have like a mutual bond with that one. Because yeah, like if Activision's the only company making games, then people are going to get burnt out on it, right? And like they're obviously those big companies aren't the only companies making games. So like I feel like if you're that's the only AAA game you're playing, then there's going to be a bigger flux of indie games coming out because people want something different. Because AAA companies they kind of they don't really test out new ideas as much as indie game companies. Um, because
Most
indie game
definitely.
companies they don't really they can risk it for the
Yeah,
biscuit,
yeah, most definitely. Indie
but
companies
triple A's obviously have the money to
to
be doing
do,
big ass shit. Like
yeah,
indie game they'll risk it, but they'll kind of compared to a triple A company, it's kind of like just a proof of concept because like a lot of indie game companies they don't really have the money or the time to be able to do something as extravagant as a triple A game. But
most definitely. I feel like I don't know. It's just like I feel like indie companies can make great games and whatnot,
right.
but AAA companies make beautiful games.
Right, and that's not to say indie companies can't make beautiful games. It's just
No,
it's a much larger feat
yeah,
because indie AAA companies they have the people to be able to like dedicate the time to make sure the game looks beautiful. Where indie game companies they're trying to fight the
they're
clock
focusing. Yeah,
to make sure they don't
they're
run out of
doing
money.
gameplay. They're doing
Yeah,
gameplay.
well, not always. Some indie companies they'll make it all graphics, but their gameplay is gonna be lacking because they don't have the team to be able to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's triple A companies always and will always have a bigger edge on indie companies, no matter what.
Right. Well, it depends on the market they're after.
That's true also. But I feel like, see, this is okay. Here's the thing. This is gonna be an odd compare, but I feel like it's good comparing at the same time. It's kind of like being a basketball player or football player. When you're in high school and college, you're gonna try your hardest to get to the NBA or get
Right.
to the
Right.
NFL or get to the MLB or get it to the NHL. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna try
Right.
your hardest. You're gonna try every sweat and tears to get to that level. And once
Right.
you get there, you're not going to try as hard. You're still going to try very hard, but you're not going to put a lot of your sweat and tears into it because
I don't think that's really the best. Like I get what you're trying to go at because like you're thinking of indie game companies as the high school player, and the AAA companies as the big leagues. Um,
yeah,
like because what I would say is indie game companies they're risking more for it. So what I say the difference is the risk. and the creative edge. They're being risky to be creative. Whereas AAA companies, they stop risking it because they just do what they know people are gonna like. But when you're doing the same thing every year or the same thing over and over again, it gets boring. Whereas indie companies, they sit there and be like, this is a cool idea, and they do it. Where the AAA companies, like, they might have that same cool idea, but they're like, nah, that's too different than what we normally do, so we're not going to do it because we might not make the millions of dollars we need or the billions of dollars we need to make it profitable.
And see, I feel like that is the big problem with AAA companies nowadays, is that they don't risk shit.
Right. Because sometimes that risk, like, yeah, their games are much more expensive. Their games are much more expensive to make. So it makes sense for them to not be as risky on it. But they also have the money. Like, let's say these AAA companies, they do smaller projects, right? So the graphics aren't maybe as good, but they do these smaller projects and be a little more risky with the gameplay mechanics. So let's say we get AAA company, but then people are going to be like, well, that doesn't look as good, blah, 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 blah. Because some people, they are all about their graphics. People who only play AAA games, all they care about is graphics, pretty much. Like, they don't even really care about
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. When a AAA company, you want to see the best graphics in the world.
Right.
You know
So
what I'm
you're
saying?
gonna miss out on because the cost of doing that, you're gonna end up missing out on possibly the next innovative gameplay until there's enough indie games out there that have succeeded doing that type of gameplay. And success on an indie game company is much smaller than success on a AAA company. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying, like, it costs indie game companies less money to make it, so it'll take them to make less money to be successful. Meaning
Okay.
they don't have to sell as many copies to be successful.
That is true also. Now, I feel like this kind of goes both ways, but they kind of act like both a little bit. I feel like Ubisoft acts like an indie company and a AAA company at the same time.
Why? Well, like, what are you talking about with how they like? What type of thing you saying about?
I feel like Ubisoft risks a lot more than a usual AAA company.
Except
Because
they do milk the name Tom Clancy.
yes,
They do milk Tom
they
Clancy a
mailed
lot.
that shit to an oblivion. But here's the thing: Ubisoft does other shit than
Right.
I feel like than just Tom Clancy. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
They
yeah,
just
they
came
have
out.
Assassin's Creed and
We yes, they do that. They have that, but they just came out a new BR game that came out like last year, whatever. That I just didn't like, by the way. It wasn't in my taste or whatever. But it was a new thing. It was a new
right.
genre. It was a new sense of
Well,
immersion.
you said it was a BR game, so
Yeah, it was a
it's
BR game.
obviously following the schematic of a BR of a battle royale,
Yes,
which
yes.
is not a new thing. Like,
But they did it in a way which makes kind of sense in a way that no other really game has really done that. Because when you look at a BR game, you look at scavenging.
I mean,
You know what
have
I'm
you
saying?
ever played the BR games on Switch?
No.
There's no scavenging. Like, let's say, okay, so they have a battle royale Pac-Man game. They have a battle royale Tetris game. There's no scavenging. It's just play Tetris, play
Oh, well,
Pac-Man.
see, like those, like Tetris and Pac-Man, I feel like are a little different of a BR game.
Right. But it's still
It's
BR. It's
still
fight to the
BR,
death.
but yeah, that is true. It's still BR, but I don't know, man. You see what I'm saying? Like the usual flavor or the usual genre of a BR game is scavenging. That's what everyone knows BR by, and hasn't left that title since then. People have made other BR games that there is scavenging, but there's not that much scavenging. But
Right.
BR is known to be a scavenge type.
Yeah, but that's not what makes it BR though. That's just what it's known as.
Well, yeah, BR is the fight for the last one. It's
Yeah,
Hunger
to be
Games,
the last.
basically.
Yeah. Hunger
To
Games
be
is a
the
BR.
Yeah, to be the last one alive, and that's
Right.
what Tetris and Pac-Man did in their own kind of ways. So
Right.
it is that BRS experience, but there's no scavenging. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? They went out of that genre of BR of scavenging.
They made their own type of BR game, which is good. You want people to go out of the nature of scavenging. To make something different of a BR game.
Right.
Not that usual BR game. That has still esque things of fighting to the top. But you have a different way of doing it. Your own way, your own layout of doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's a BR game. It's in that BR genre of BR games. But it's in its own genre in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's BR games, but you have scavenge, and then you have non-scavenge, and then you have just BR games that go their own route. And if it doesn't make it, then it doesn't make it. It falls flat on its face.
You have that risk.
Yeah.
It's that risk. That risk versus reward, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of it's good in a way that these companies are trying to venture out in other BR type of games that doesn't involve scavenging.
Right.
That it's about getting to the top. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's good in a way, but I feel like people just like the BR scavenge way, and they always are going to keep in that. They're always going to keep that BR scavenge way to the top, and the other ones are just going to be down below, trying to get to the top.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Warzone is a scavenge, PUBG scavenge, Fortnite scavenge, Battlefield's BR games scavenge, PUBG, Apex scavenge. Like everything that's BR flavor is scavenge.
For the most part.
Now, Forza Horizon 4 did a BR game, but Forza Horizon's cars and whatever, which I feel like how they did that was actually pretty interesting. That was new. Now, that's what I'm saying. It's a new take on BR. Now, if it does good, who fucking knows? No, I don't know. I heard it did good, but I don't know. It could have fell flat on its face. But it's something new. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just feel like, there's not a lot of BR games that are party-esque.
Well, what do you mean by party-esque?
Like not that serious. Like it's a BR game.
Oh, okay. Because what I thought you meant by party-esque, I thought you meant like
squads and no. A lot of games. I'm talking about like not that serious.
Well, I mean, you don't have to take it that. I mean, the problem is the community takes it that serious.
Yeah.
But none of them really have to be that serious, like unless you're playing it competitively. But that's the problem. Like whether or not you're playing casual, like a casual lobby, meaning there's no actual stakes, or a competitive lobby with like money involved.
Mm-hmm.
Like people always take a lot of these battle royale games like super seriously.
Yeah, and I feel like that is what ruins the experience for some players.
Right.
Is that everyone wants to become the next Twitch YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? Everyone wants to become the next Twitch YouTuber, and they're going to do everything in their power to get to that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's kind of like, well, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? What can you do at the end of the day,
Right.
That's just, that's just how people are at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I'm just doing my thing.
Right.
I'm just doing me at the end of the day. I'm not playing Call like that. I haven't played Call of Duty probably over a month. Actually played it. I'm not talking about getting on Call of Duty and seeing what's up. I'm talking about getting on Call of Duty and actually playing and fucking sweating for 8 hours a day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I haven't done that in probably over a month. The probably last time I done that was that Control Freaks video that we're doing and that we're still doing to this day because
I haven't touched it in a minute, to be honest. I have it all on my computer still, but I haven't touched it in a minute.
Yeah, which is cool and dandy. But I'm just saying that we're still editing and whatnot. That
right.
I would like to see where this ends up at with this control freeze video, but it's whatever at the end of the day. So, but you know, I just feel like I got burnt out on Call of Duty. I really
Right.
did. I feel like Call of Duty burnt me the fuck out. I really did. I feel like Call of Duty just I nail in a coffin.
Well, shit. Call of Duty. I still think whenever you get a PC or something, I still think you should help me out making a game like not exactly like Call of Duty, an indie game like Call of
If
Duty.
I get a
Not really
PC, I'm
trying to-
getting Black Ops 3. I'm getting
Shit.
Black Ops 3 on PC. We can play some zombie mods on it. See,
Shit.
that's what I want to do, is play some Black Ops 3 zombie mods. Because why? Because there's creative mode in Black Ops 3. Or
Creative
in
mode. They
World
have
at War.
mods. That
Well,
mod
mods,
shit,
whatever.
yeah.
Well, you get what I'm saying. On PC, Black Ops 3, there's a creative mode in a way where you're able to play other zombie maps besides the developers make.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
what I'm saying?
It's
Which
they
is
have
cool
the
because
mods
there's a
to go on it.
glorious amount of activity there. There's millions upon millions upon millions of maps that you can play that are good, terrible, suck, trash. You
See,
know,
I
you
honestly
name
don't
it.
even know about how many is actually there because I haven't
I'm
really.
I know. I'm just
Yeah.
pointing this out. Okay, there's a lot, not probably millions, but there's a lot. There's
Right.
good, there's trash, there's terrible, there's garbage. Like there's everything above in Black Ops 3 or
Right,
World at
right.
War. You get what I'm saying? But you are able to do stuff. You're able to look at other maps when the replayism is there in World at
Right.
War in Black Ops 3. Call of Advanced Warfare, all these other games that come out, there's no replay visible besides developer replay visible.
Right, because
Besides what the developers make.
what
And
they
that's
provide.
what they provide, which sucks. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's garbage. It gets boring because it's a rehash of what Call of Duty has been a rehash game since day one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing new that comes out. Yes, they do make new maps here now. Don't get me wrong, they do that. But
Shit, more and more every year they've been doing more and
they
more remakes.
rehash.
Yeah, they do remakes
They
more
rehash.
than ever.
You see maps that Nuketown has been coming out every Black Ops game for the past Black Ops 1. Since
Right,
2010. For the past 11 years or whatever, 10 years. Nuketown has came out every Black Ops game.
right.
Which I feel like that is terrible. That is garbage. That make a new small map.
Right.
Make a new one. You know what I'm saying? Shipment. I haven't seen a Shipment game since Modern Warfare, so that's different. It was been Call of Duty 4, and that was it. Shipment was gone. You didn't hear about it. You didn't see about it. Nothing. Okay, Ghost, but they revamped.
They made it bigger. It was
They revamped it in a way which was good, which was whatever. Nuketown, they
Right.
never did that. It was the same map, just a different scheme. You get what I'm saying? Which got boring.
Right.
It got boring in ways. It just got boring because you knew exactly where people were gonna be at. Play styles really never changed, really. So it was like, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like Call of Duty, that bargain is getting highly annoying. But Call of Duty, I just like. I want to play other games, like not Fortnite, but like Apex Legends, like freaking the new Battlefield game that's coming out, like the new Rainbow Six Extraction game that's coming out this September, whatever. Like I want to play other games besides working my ass off on Call of Duty to get through a battle pass that at the end of the day doesn't mean nothing.
Right. It's the battle pass that's the issue.
It's the battle pass. If they made where like Halo 343 or whatever, it's gonna do it where the battle pass never expires and you can buy every single battle pass on demand and work on it until the Halo servers shut down on that game.
Right.
That is the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life because that makes it where you don't have to get on the game every day.
Right.
You don't have to play it. You can
You don't
play
feel
it here.
locked down.
You don't feel locked
to
down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. With Apex Legends and what Battlefield 5 did,
in Call of Duty and whatever, you're locked down to play these games. There is expiration date on these battle passes. Which
Right.
at the end of the day, I don't care about these no more because like on Apex, like I didn't care about no battle pass besides Call of Duty. That's the only
Right.
battle. These other games I enjoyed playing.
Right.
Apex, Battlefield,
Yeah,
whatever, because I
you
didn't
stopped
care
enjoying Call
about
of Duty. You stopped enjoying it because you were spending 8 hours a day trying to get through this
playing it.
battle pass.
Yeah, playing a game that didn't mean anything at the end of the day. It doesn't mean shit. It's not like CS:GO where you're able to trade shit or you know whatever.
Right. Right.
You can't do that. So it's like, what's the meaning of all this? What do I gain just so I can play on a game and have a calling card and yo, I got the new call card in Battle Pass, bro. Yeah, like no,
I
no.
mean, that is it is for showing off. It's for nothing but showing off. Like there's nothing else you get out of it.
Yeah, there's nothing else you get out of it but besides showing off. There's
Right.
nothing else you get out of it. So it's like, well, and I don't even show off half the stuff I get in these battle pass. I
Which
barely
makes it even more
use
worthless.
I barely use half the stuff I get in the battle pass anyway. I use the guns, the camel guns maybe, and that's about it. I don't even use none of the emblems, the charms, the calling cards, like nothing, nada.
Right.
Not even the watches really. I don't even use.
See, I thought the watches when they first came out, I thought they were pretty cool, but they just milked the
They
shit
were
out of that.
pretty cool, but they milked the
Yeah.
shit out of the watches. So it's like whatever now. But that's what I'm saying. Like I get that it's another design of the character to make it your
Yeah.
own. I get that. I understand that totally. But it's just like the only time I have fun playing is zombies. But right now I don't even want to play Call of Duty Zombies because it's just like it's boring now.
Right.
It's boring.
Well,
Like
you
it's
just play that one. You don't even try to get good at that other map.
yeah. I know
So,
we already established that. But
yeah.
even just playing, I'm just saying, just playing the new zombies in general, it's boring. It's just
Right.
there's no fun in these new zombie maps anyway. You know what I'm saying? Not even just Die Machine, even the new one, it's boring. It's just you know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, what can you do? Like when the new zombie map, I'm gonna play it. When the new
Right.
zombie map come out for Call of Duty, I'm gonna play it. But if it sucks, I ain't playing it. If it's
Right.
terrible, I'm just all right, well, cool. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like it's just they I feel like I feel this is because I really do feel like they need to stop making Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I
I think
I
they need to make one that's gonna last a couple years.
I no. I feel like they
No,
just need to stop making
they
Call of
just
Duty
need to
games in general.
they just need to stop the series.
In general for at least 10 years or more. Let it go. Let it go, ghost. Let us forget about Call of Duty for a while, okay? Even though Call of Duty is never going to be forgotten about, but at least let us forget about it. And then 10 years down the line, make a new Call of Duty. Everyone's going to be fresh. Everyone's going to be like, oh, a new Call of Duty game, you know, whatever.
Right.
People will be hyped to play it again. No one's hyped to play Call of Duty no more. I
Shit,
guarantee no.
if they did it at least how like Battlefield does it, where they don't release one every year, but they release one like
That would
every.
even be even better if they did it
Yeah.
like how Battlefield is. But they don't. They make a new Call of Duty every damn year.
Yeah, and they want you to spend all that money on it.
They want you to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on something that
Yeah,
doesn't
shit. Some
mean
people do
anything.
spend thousands of dollars. Like remember when they had the supply drops?
Oh my god.
People were spending a shit tons of money.
That was even worse. But
in
I just
Advanced Warfare, you
but
even got duplicates in Advanced Warfare. So
see, but that's what I'm saying though. I'd rather have that than have this battle pass. And the reason why I say that is because you don't have the urge to having to play it.
right, you just have the
You know,
urge to spend a shit ton of money.
you
Which
just have
actually
the urge.
those supply drops are now illegal in some countries.
Yes,
So
I
like
get that and understand that's why they're doing the
they can't
battle
really
pass.
go back. Yeah, they can't really
Yeah,
go
I
back to
know.
that.
But I'm just saying though, the battle pass is I have to finish it at a certain time. Okay?
Right.
Those supply drops, there ain't no I have to finish this game at a certain time. It's I have to spend more money.
Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
the more they add
The more people spend. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But you, me, and probably thousands, 100,000 other people don't have that urge. Oh, I need to get the new supply drop. Oh, I need to get the new supply drop. Oh, I need to get the new supply. Dude, I just play the game at the end of the day. You get what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
I can risk not having a DLC gun and just play the game at the end of the day and whoop ass. You get what I'm saying?
right,
But the only thing I like about the battle pass is that the for one, the guns are free no matter what. So
right,
if you don't get the battle pass, you still get the guns. Two, you get to earn these guns in challenges. It's
right,
not like in the supply drops where you have to get that gun or supply drop earned. There's no ifs and buts about it.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So that being said, the supply drop thing, I feel like is not better, but I'd rather deal with that than deal with the
right.
battle pass. I'd rather deal with a season pass every year and supply drops. That's I'm being dead serious. I'd rather deal with that. Paying $60 every year for a season pass and get supply drops out the ass.
Shit, yeah, I would be, I kind of miss the season pass, like, cause shit. I mean, not really, cause I don't really even when like, yeah, I enjoy getting the maps for free. Don't get me wrong,
I
cause
do too. I enjoy getting them
I
out for
only got
free.
the season pass because I knew I was gonna want to get all the maps.
Yeah,
But
that's what anyone gets the season pass for is because they want to get them out. I
right,
enjoy that too, but whenever we are, there's no going back in these situations and whatnot.
right, they make too much money doing the season passes. They make more money doing the season passes than they ever did with or not season pass. I mean,
Battle
they earn,
passes.
yeah, with the battle passes than they ever did with the season passes.
That's unfair. It's I don't know. It's kind of like a whatever. It's kind of
Right,
like whatever. I'm just gonna play other games and whatnot
right.
and call it a day because I'm burnt out on Call of Duty. I really am. I'm burnt out. It's just blah. Like
You
it's
planning on playing like what, single player or multiplayer games? Like what? Like what type
yeah.
of games?
Like I wanna get into like you know uh what's the name? Is it Lost Planet or whatever? I think it's like Lost Planet or some shit like that. It's one of these games I used to play the first one and it came on Xbox. It was an Xbox exclusive when it came out on 360. It's
Right.
where is it? Where is it? Where is I forget. I think it's called Lost Planet. It's Lost Planet 2. They made 1, 2, and 3, and I played the first one, and then I played the second one that came out on PlayStation.
Right.
That game was like on some whole other type of shit.
Right.
Um, it was like you dealing with aliens and it was in the future and where the story was pretty good actually, but I think Lost Planet was single player, and then they eventually did like Lost Planet 2 and 3. They ended up going co-op and whatever, actually doing multiplayer where you're PvP and whatnot.
Right.
So there was that also, but like I want to get into like other fucking games. Like I want to get into, playing, Lego, Star Wars, or whatever, Star Wars Unleashed,
Right.
Crisis, you know, Minecraft again, of course, even though I'm still playing Minecraft, but, like Minecraft again, get into racing games again, like, playing Battlefield 4 again, playing all these other games besides Call of Duty. You
Right.
know, I'll play like the old ones, like Aim for War for Marvel 2 and all of them here and there, but I want to get into like other games and record
Shit.
other games.
Once the zombie map gets up and running good, we should really show it off on the channel. Like we should really do a playthrough of that map we're making.
Okay,
The not just your map, but like we should do one with your map, but we should also do one with the zombie map for a playthrough on that.
we're gonna be put on pause. On pause. So back to what I'm saying. So I just feel like getting into other games.
Right. Right.
That's just me. I just feel like getting into other games. I just feel like doing other things, getting into VR more, you know, Just
Bro,
playing.
you haven't even done VR gameplay yet. Like,
No, I haven't. I should do some. VR
you can
gameplay.
record it right on your phone to make it easy and shit.
Yeah, I should. But I already got like gameplay stacked up pretty much, so I'm gonna use. I got
Yeah, but
hella-
if you want to get it out, if you want VR footage, you shouldn't let that gameplay footage you already have and set you back for it. Like,
yeah, that's true. Also.
you don't have to release one video a day. Like, you have the videos stacked up. If you want to get VR footage out, you're not locked down to only get that one video out that went on that schedule. Like, you can make VR videos. Like, you have what? It's up until in the middle of next month, right? That you have that all backed up for.
No, I got more than that.
You have it backed up. I thought it was all the way up till the middle of July.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got it all the way backed up until like the middle of July or some shit.
Right.
So my AirPods are about to die too. So we're gonna have to be put on pause again so I can switch my earphones.
Oh, I see.
Pause.